A number of buildings at the Manyane Game Lodge outside Mahikeng in the northwest have been destroyed after a fire ripped through the reserve. The resort, which belongs to the Northwest Parks Board, is under renovation. One of the thatched roof buildings caught fire just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the wind blew burning embers onto surrounding buildings. The project that was started in 2016 has been shrouded in controversy since last year when it came to light that 71 million rand had already been spent, and yet it was not completed. SABC News reporter Thabiso Moss found this report.
We are outside Manyane Game Reserve here in the Northwest Province. This place is about 10 kilometers from the Northwest capital, Mahikeng. And earlier on, we've seen the fire breaking out here in this area, especially at the guard house. But we'll get more information with regard to the extent of this fire and also the possible cause of this fire. As we earlier on spoke to some residents who were just passing here, who told us that they are very disappointed about what is happening here, since well that this establishment was still under renovation. But let me bring on to this conversation the spokesperson for the Department of Economic Development in the Northwest Province, Thabiso, just to tell us about what they know so far as a department with regard to this fire. Thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon on SABC News. Firstly, let us start with what do you know about the cause of this fire?
Well, firstly, as a Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism in the Northwest Province, we are very much disappointed with this fire that has gutted this tourism facility here in Mahikeng. And we can confirm as a department that the preliminary reports that we are receiving is that there is a group of workers who were working on the roof of one of the facilities inside, and then they were using what is called the fire torch. And then it is suspected that the fire that was produced by that fire torch is the one that led to this gutting that we are seeing here. So we do not want to conclude tentatively that indeed this fire was caused by the fire torch, but what we will do, we will wait for a formal and forensic investigation to be conducted.
So does this mean that the investigation will start immediately?
Definitely, the investigation must start immediately. Those who were working on the roof, they must be interviewed. We must get to the bottom of this matter.
So, and in terms of injuries and stuff like that, because workers were still inside, like you've alluded, but I've seen many of them are still outside. I don't know if all of them, they have managed to vacate the building when it catched fire, and also like there is no one who's injured in the process.
According to the preliminary reports that we have received, there are no injuries or let alone fatalities that have been recorded in this incident.
Let us talk about the extent of the damage caused by this fire. What do you know at this stage?
The information that we have received is that the conference facility is damaged. The entrance to Manyane Game Reserve is also damaged, as well as one of the facility that was used as a restaurant is also damaged.
So, and you also spoke about that you are going to launch investigations in this thing. So we understand that this establishment was still under renovations. There was a project to renovate the facility or the establishment. How far are these renovations?
The renovations were far ahead. I think we were 60% complete as a department, and the National Department of Tourism. You'd remember that DDECT was collaborating with the National Department of Tourism to ensure that we complete this tourism facility and make it ready for tourists who are coming to the province.
And in terms of employees coming here, I know that you have just arrived here earlier on, but in situations like this, what is going to happen? That the building is under fire, some of the areas in the building were gutted by fire. So what is going to happen? Does this mean the work that was going on here will stop for a bit? Are employees still coming to work tomorrow? Those are the details that will confirm at a later stage.
Yes, all disaster management processes will have to be followed. It goes without saying that everybody must be evacuated. so that proper investigations can be conducted. There's no way in which work can continue in this state. The building is gutted, so we need to evacuate everybody for the safety of workers and everybody who's involved in this project.
That's Thabiso from the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Conservation in the province, talking to us about what they know at this stage. They are going to launch forensic investigations, and it means that the renovations that were underway here will stop for a bit, because he's saying they will not allow any employee to come here. And that's the situation at this stage with regard to the fire that has gathered the Manyane Game Reserve, which is about 10 kilometers outside the northwest capital, Mahikeng.